when Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997. The company was on the verge of collapse. Competitors were moving faster, investors were panicking, and the tech world was buzzing with doubts. Jobs could have reacted to the noise, scrambling to copy what others were doing. Instead, he chose a different path: proactive focus. He eliminated dozens of distractions, cut Apple's product line to just 4, and redirected all energy into innovation. That proactive choice didn't just save Apple, it turned it into one of the most valuable companies on Earth. Steve's comeback shows us something vital. In a reactive world full of noise, urgency, and pressure, greatness comes from choosing direction over distraction. And that's exactly what we're diving into today: how to become a proactive person in a reactive world. Trapped in the urgency trap. Let's be honest, urgency feels good. It gives us adrenaline. It makes us feel important, like we're handling big things. But here's the catch. Most of the time, the urgent isn't actually important. It's just loud. Think about it. Checking that ping on your phone feels necessary, but it often steals your focus from the real work that shapes your future. This is where the proactive versus reactive mindset comes into play. Reactive people are controlled by urgency. Proactive people, they step back and ask, is this truly important or just noise? Shifting your focus from urgent to important is the first big step in learning how to become a proactive person. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that when people spend just 20% more time on important but not urgent tasks, their sense of fulfillment skyrockets. That could mean planning your week, reading something meaningful, or working on a skill. Little by little, you start to notice. You're not a firefighter anymore, you're a builder. Exposing the triggers that control you. Now, let's dig deeper. Why do we fall into reactive living in the first place? One reason is triggers. We all have autopilot responses to stress, like snapping at someone when you're under pressure or mindlessly scrolling when you're anxious. Social media makes this even harder. Algorithms are literally designed to keep us reactive. Breaking news cycles, clickbait headlines, notifications, they feed off your emotions. And when external expectations, bosses, peers, even family add their weight, you start living someone else's script instead of your own. Here's the key. How to avoid reacting emotionally starts with noticing your triggers. Once you see them, you have a choice. You can pause, breathe, and respond differently. Awareness is the first layer of freedom. And trust me, the first time you notice yourself about to react, and instead choose a calm response, it feels powerful. It's like you've caught the puppet strings that were pulling you and snipped them yourself. That's the beginning of real freedom. Vision over habit. Now, here's the part most people miss. Habits are important, yes, but habits alone can trap you in autopilot. The real shift happens when you move beyond habits and start living with vision. Let's put it this way. A habit might help you wake up early, but vision is what gets you excited about why you're waking up early. Without vision, even good habits can feel mechanical. And that's how we end up stuck in the same loop day after day, wondering how to stop living life on autopilot. Instead, think long-term. Ask yourself, who do I want to be in 5 years? What values actually matter to me? Once you're clear on your vision, your habits can serve that bigger picture. That's when they become habits for a proactive lifestyle instead of just routines. And here's something interesting. People with strong visions tend to live more resiliently. When setbacks come, they don't crumble. They adjust. Why? Because they know their direction. A vision works like a compass. Even if the road is rough, you still know which way to walk. The freedom of saying no. Here's a tough one: saying no. Most people struggle with it because they don't want to disappoint others. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your vision, you're saying no to yourself. Imagine your life as a limited suitcase. You can't pack everything. You only have space for what truly matters. Proactive people understand this. They protect their time, their energy, their attention. They realize that the freedom of yes comes only when you've mastered the freedom of no. Saying no isn't about rejection, it's about direction. It's about guiding your life toward purpose instead of letting it be hijacked by everyone else's urgency. And that is at the heart of how to become a proactive person. Here's a tip. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," try saying, "That's not a priority right now." Notice how it feels. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but with practice, it becomes empowering. Because deep down, you're reclaiming ownership of your life. Calm in the chaos. Life isn't calm, it's chaotic. Things will go wrong, disruptions will happen. The difference is how you prepare for them. Proactive people don't just wait for problems and react, they plan ahead. They do scenario planning. If this happens, how will I respond? They use strategies like the pre-mortem, where you imagine everything going wrong before it even begins, and then build safeguards. Another key? Boundaries. Setting limits on when you check your phone, creating digital detox moments, and carving out quiet time. That's how you create mental clarity in a noisy world. When you train yourself to remain calm in the chaos, you start to live a proactive life for personal growth. You're no longer the passenger tossed around by storms. You're the captain steering the ship. Here's a relatable example. Imagine two drivers stuck in traffic. One is fuming, honking, shouting at the car ahead. The other calmly turns on a podcast, sips water, and waits it out. Same situation, completely different outcomes. That's the power of proactive calmness. Designing the life you lead. At the end of the day, being proactive isn't just about time management or productivity hacks, it's about identity. It's about asking, am I the designer of my life, or just a responder to whatever comes my way? Think of it like this. Reactive living is like being a character in someone else's story. Proactive living? That's when you become the author of your own. Every deliberate choice you make adds a sentence to your story. And over time, those sentences turn into chapters. When you design the life you lead, you gain control, clarity, and confidence. You move from drifting to directing, from existing to truly living. And that's the essence of how to become a proactive person. So here's the takeaway. Life will always be full of noise, urgency, and distractions. But you don't have to live on autopilot. You can pause, recognize your triggers, choose vision over habit, protect your time with no, stay calm in the chaos, and design a life that feels like your own. That's the real payoff of being proactive. You don't just survive the day, you shape your destiny. And if this message resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Share in the comments one area of your life where you want to shift from reactive to proactive. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss a new one. I am your friendly guide, Mr. Smart, and together we're building a community that chooses deliberate living over autopilot. Let's start shaping the future, one proactive choice at a time.